Alrighty, welcome to After Hours with TC Restani from the Vault. I'm TC Restani. Tonight we're going to play an interview that I conducted in 1993 with actor Thomas F. Wilson, who portrayed Biff Tannen in the Back to the Future saga. This was my very first celebrity interview that I did for what is now known as BackToTheFuture.com. Back then it was just Back to the Future, the fan site for their quarterly newsletter, but it was an unbelievable time and I'm debuting it here. No one in the world has ever heard this interview. Let's roll from 1993. Thomas F. Wilson talking about his career in Back to the Future.
So, let's go. What do you want to know?
The first question is, how did you go from an international politics major at Arizona State University to become one of the most hated film villains of all time?
Well, oddly enough, I was one of the most hated international politics majors when I was in college. Actually, my dad was a lawyer, and I was in the debate team in school, and I was really following that track of probably becoming a lawyer. But I always had a great interest in theater and acting, and that was always my avocation. And when I finally got to college, I decided just to go for it, and I flip-flopped my vocation and avocation, so I decided to go for it, and I became an actor, because a number of acting teachers had told me that I should do it, so I decided I was young and quite possibly stupid. So,
well, when you were growing up, was there any actors who inspired you?
Any actors who inspired me? Well, a lot of actors inspired me. I've always, like so many people, I've always loved the movies and loved great performances. I didn't pay very, very close attention to the art of acting until I was in high school and was inspired by a friend and mentor of mine who was my acting teacher in high school. And I started paying more attention to actors and really got into some great performances from both English actors of Laurence Olivier and Ralph Richardson and Paul Scofield, and even into actors in American movies, Jack Lemmon, and of course the big guys, the Robert De Niro's and Dustin Hoffmans of the world, who are always super strong actors.
Now, when you're not acting, do you still perform your stand-up career?
Yes, I do. I perform it pretty frequently, as frequently as I can. When I'm not doing a movie or something, I'll get up on the stage here in L.A. at the Improvisation or the Comedy and Magic Club out here, or and sometimes I will travel across this great land of ours, bringing mirth and joy.
Now, I don't know if this is a rumor or where I heard this, but didn't you once room with Andrew Dice Clay?
In fact, that is not a rumor, that is fact. When I first came to Los Angeles, I rented a house with Andrew Dice Clay and Yakov Smirnoff. But Andy and I are good friends, and we lived together for like 3 years.
Is it easy for you to go on auditions being your stand-up and you're not afraid to perform in front of a crowd?
I think that's true. Yeah, when you're a stand-up comedian, you're used to the pressure of having to come up with the goods in front of a room of people, and a big room of people in many instances. So, yes, it does help to combat stage fright, or to take stage fright and turn it into positive energy. Yeah, so stand-ups help me a lot in that way.
Okay, some actors, when they see the finished product on the screen, say, oh, if I can only go back and change things. You got a chance to change things when you filmed the scenes with Eric Stoltz and then when you filmed it with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Was there anything you changed in those different takes?
I was just better.
You were just better in the Fox sequence.
I was better, yeah. In fact, I don't think I changed anything because first of all, during the filming of the movie, we didn't get to see dailies.
Okay.
The rushes of our daily work. So I don't know. At the time, I didn't know how those scenes came out, so I didn't know what exactly I had to improve. Also, as an actor, I try not to second-guess myself. I try, with proper preparation, to give it my best shot at the time that I do the scene, and then not think about it again. And, occasionally when you see the movie, you think, ooh, I wish I'd done this or that. But I try not to waste too much time doing that and sit back and enjoy the movie.
Do any prints still around of that?
Those prints were deep-sixed, and they only exist probably in the archives of Amblin Entertainment.
Okay.
There is one still of Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly in a book about Back to the Future that was released by Universal Studios. So there is one photo of Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly, but other than that, I don't think anything exists.
In your opinion, why did Biff become a bigger butthead as an old man at the end of Part 1? And then when Part 2 began, he was this evil guy.
Well, I think, Back to the Future Part 2 was the logical extension of Back to the Future Part 1. And taken as a trilogy, it was also a perfect second act in which the antagonist comes to the forefront and shakes up the world of our protagonist very seriously. In order to do that, Biff had to be more than just kind of more than a weakling. He had to have an evil intent, which he always had. Biff was never the friendly wimp when he's waxing the car. He always has that bitterness toward the McFlys because he is Biff. So, that came out early in the film. When nobody's around, I don't think Biff is the wimp that he was toward the McFlys.
Now, do you know anything secret about your character that no one else does?
I know many things.
Could you share that with us?
In Back to the Future 2, Biff actually died and erased from existence.
Why did that get cut out of the film?
I think for time constraints, but I thought it was very interesting. But in Back to the Future 2, after Biff comes back with the stolen DeLorean, having his heart attack, we shot a scene where as the DeLorean takes off over my head, I literally die of the heart attack, and as I slump to the ground, I erase from existence, disappearing.
Now, they show a portion of that on the behind-the-scenes deal.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, and they came up with a storyline. They say that Lorraine in the alternate 85 shot you, and that's why you ceased to exist in 2015.
That may be the case. I mean, any myriad of explanations could explain why Biff comes back to the future and is obviously in a state of trauma, and that one of them. But fortunately, the fun thing about Back to the Future is everyone can make up their own storyline.
Which film is your favorite?
You can imagine how many times I've been asked which one is my favorite, and I still don't have an answer because each of them is such a specific and different film from the others. I liked Back to the Future 3 a lot, and it's not only because I think it's a great Western with a giant twist, but when I think of the Back to the Future movies, I think also of the time that I had making them.
Okay.
And Back to the Future 3 we filmed up in Sonora, California, and we got to ride on horses every day and really play cowboys and Indians for an extended period of time. So I really had a ball making that movie. As far as just the sheer films, which film that I like the best, I don't think there can be an argument that the original Back to the Future, it inspired its own two sequels.
True.
It's a classic, and I don't think you can argue with the first Back to the Future as being really one of the classic films now of all time, because you can see that because it was released in 1985 and it's still at the forefront of people's minds.
Which incarnation of your character was the most fun to play?
The most fun to play, I must go back to Back to the Future 3 and Buford Mad Dog 10.
Fastest gun in the West.
That's right. I mean, I got to train with Arvo Ojala was his name, one of these world champion quick draw experts, as well as Corky Randall taught me how to ride. He actually is a wrangler for Hollywood, livestock, an old-time cowboy that taught John Ford how to ride and actually rode with John Wayne on those movies. So I had a good time becoming a cowboy, and Westerns, especially big-budget Westerns, are done so infrequently now. It was a real treat to actually go to a Western town and make a big Hollywood movie.
How would you describe working with the rest of the cast?
All of the actors and the production people, the director, the writers, everybody on the Back to the Future movies, I think are really nice people with nice families. We all got along very well and had a lot of fun.
Are you still in contact with any of the cast?
Sure. I see them. I just saw them a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, at the grand opening of the Back to the Future ride out here at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Was it difficult to shoot part 2 and 3 back to back?
Yes, it was. It was. The schedule was very demanding because we were filming for a long time, and making any movie, is really difficult and takes at least a 14-hour day. Add to that special effects makeup and various things, and especially during Back to the Future 2, 18 hours days were commonplace.
Was that in the makeup?
That was doing everything, doing the makeup, doing the split screen scenes with myself, doing all kinds of very technical work, which was just really time consuming.
How was that exactly done, playing opposite yourself?
I would show up at about 3 in the morning, go through 6 or 7 hours of makeup, do half the scene as the old man. After I had finished, and as I was acting as the old man, I would leave myself space in between the lines and estimate how much time I would take to say the opposite line.
Uh-huh.
Then I would go have the makeup painfully ripped from my head, remade up as the young Biff, go back, have a radio earpiece placed in my ear, and then I could hear the previous lines that I'd done in the morning, and I would try to match them and fill in the spaces that I'd given myself with the other half of the dialogue.
Now, you were a major part of Back to the Future ride.
Yes.
Were those scenes filmed before or after Part 3, the ones that are in the ride?
After Part 3.
After Part 3. Do you know how long after Part 3 they were filmed?
Oh, in the neighborhood of a year, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Tom, in conclusion, if there was a Part 4, would you be interested in playing Biff again?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think the Back to the Future movies are great. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of my work in them, and I'm happy that everyone has enjoyed them so much. But I think that they should stay the way they are, and I think that most of the cast and production staff feel the way I do.
So you never know.
You do never know, and it's like Sean Connery, never say never again. I won't say that I would never be a part of a Back to the Future thing. It's been a great part of my life, but put me on the record as seriously doubting there will be another Back to the Future.
Okay, Tom, I'd like to thank you very much for taking time out to talk to the fan club today.
It's my pleasure. I meet the fans all over the country. When I do stand-up, when I do personal appearances, I always meet the Back to the Future fans, who are a great bunch of people, and I'm always interested in meeting them, and they're always very nice people. I always have a good time.